you're going to be showing us some camera tips.
Yep.
Because I just got my first DSLR camera.
Yep. DSLR.
Which stands for what, by the way?
The SLR, which is what the newer cameras are.
Yep.
The DSLR has a place for like your eye, and what that means is there's a mirror in there that flips up.
Okay.
And allows you to see what's to the lens.
Okay.
And when you take a picture, that mirror flips back and opens up to the sensor.
Okay.
So instead of it being a digital sensor or a digital viewfinder, it's a manual viewfinder. I would start with the ISO. So the ISO, to give an analogy to it, is basically like the volume on your camera. So like if you're on your phone, you want to hear the music louder, you turn up the volume.
Okay.
Right? It makes it louder.
Yes.
If it's darker and you want to turn up the light, you turn up your ISO.
Okay.
You're increasing
I love that analogy.
the volume of the sensor. So basically, it's allowing the sensor to pick up more light, being more sensitive
And
to the
that's
light.
all it does. That's all it controls is the light.
To every setting, there's a downfall, for lack of better words.
Yes.
Now, if you turn up the ISO too high, like if today I had it on 1600,
Okay.
be very grainy. So ISO adds digital noise to your pictures.
Okay.
And video.
Okay.
And if you've ever tried to take a picture on your cell phone at night, you've probably seen that.
Yes.
Because the cell phones are not very versatile for night shooting.
Yes.
So that would be a good example of too high of an ISO.
Yes.
So like we'll take the DSLR for instance, there's the mirror I was talking about earlier, and then behind that mirror there is the sensor, or the place where, for better words, where all the light collects on the camera.
Okay.
It's where basically your picture is imprinted digitally, and that mirror that's in front of it, there's a little shutter behind that mirror before it reaches the sensor.
Okay.
And the shutter speed is basically how long that little door is open, how long your sensor is exposed to the light that is picking up.
Okay.
So there's obviously different speeds. It can be really, really fast, or it can be really, really slow. And for my water picture, I wanted the water to look like it was almost frozen in time.
Yes.
So I used a really, really slow shutter speed. So each droplet of water would be in its place when I started the camera, and when I stopped taking the picture, it probably moved a little bit. So which is why you see it cascading down like it's in slow motion.
That then leads us lastly to aperture.
To aperture, the last thing that you can change on your camera.
Which by certainly is because it's probably the most important thing on the camera. Okay. The one that's I set as priority the most.
You must like blurry backgrounds.
I do.
Okay, so then yes, that is the most important setting for you.
Yes.
So basically, aperture, and I'm sure if anyone has DSLR, they've probably seen it before if they've looked into a camera. It's basically, there's a collection of these little shades, all aligned in about the middle of the lens.
Okay.
And they're in a shape where, when fit together the right way, they create a circle in them.
Like a little pupil.
Yep, a little pupil. And depending on your setting, you can open that pupil really wide, or you could close it down really small.
Now the first example you are going to...
I will do it where there's a shallow depth of field.
Okay.
Let's see. This lens only goes to an f-stop of 3.5, so it might not be as drastic as I was gonna...
I think mine only goes to an f-stop of 4.5. So I can see the advantage already of getting...
So faster lenses have smaller numbers, like they go below 2.
Okay.
Which means that they can, that's what you see in the movies.
Okay.
With like the really crazy focus pools and stuff.
Okay.
Let me see how these turned out. Okay, you can definitely see it.
Okay.
That as opposed to that.
Yeah. Tell us what's going through your head here.
Now, what's going through my head is I wish I brought my wide angle lens that I took off before the hike. First, I'm going to change the ISO because it's a 3200, which is so high.
So here you don't have your wide angle lens.
I do not.
But you want a large depth of field because you want to be able to see this whole.
Yeah, I want to be able to see everything.
You don't want it to just focus on like.
So that's why I would use a much smaller aperture, because that focuses the light, which allows it to be very streamlined.
So the camera, we should say the camera that you're using. I had said before it's a Canon, but specifically
It's
what?
a Canon EOS 70D.
70D, and I don't, do those numbers have any meaning in the name?
Nope, it's just the numbers they chose to
This way.
give to this model camera. So they have like an 80D and a 50D.
Now the camera that you recommended to me to get, which I listened and I love, is the Canon Rebel T6i.
Yep, T6i.
And I was asking you for an entry level, something that, and I've been very happy with it. Any other tips you can offer me about care, maybe care for your camera, or?
I wouldn't put my camera in like a backpack because that scares me.
Okay.
Just because if I fell on my back, it could smash it. If something spilled in my bag, or if there's sand in there, like you've got to be really careful with cameras that have interchangeable lenses and sand.
One time it happened to us, and it also happened when Trevor was using my camera. He switched from the coolness of the trail out to the bright sun, and he got the condensation inside the lens.
Okay.
Which, remember, that happened to us this winter?
Yep, that happened because the lens was warm and it was cold outside.
So when that happens, the best thing to do is just let it clear up on its own.
Don't put anything in it. Don't put water in there. I wouldn't even like blow in there. What they say to do is just like let your camera acclimate to the temperature.
Okay. What do you use to clean you use a microfiber cloth to clean
Always
your
microfiber. Always. It's the only way that you're not going to get micro scratches.
I have been so enjoying taking pictures on the trail.
I'm so glad.